Yeah, students, we have learned that for distributed masses, for rigid masses, moment of inertia can be calculated by using integration dm into r square. This is formula for calculating moment of inertia of rigid masses. Either it can be one dimensional or two dimensional or three dimensional. Based on that, you will be using lambda is equal to m by L, sigma is equal to m by A, rho is equal to m by V. Of course, we have learned how to find out dm mass using mass distribution formulas in center of mass also. Now let us calculate moment of inertia of a rod which is uniformly distributed mass axis about the center. So we are now calculating moment of inertia. Axis is about this center. The axis of rotation of this rod is indicated with blue color arrow mark. And the axis of rotation of the body is represented by red color arrow mark as shown in this figure. Now I want to calculate moment of inertia of this whole rod with respect to this axis. Now if you observe carefully, this is not point mass. These are extended masses. When we are dealing with extended masses, you can take one small element here. This element is at some distance, say small here. This element is at some distance, I can say it as small r. Similarly, if you take one element here at this end, this element is at a distance L, which is half of the length of the rod, that is L by 2. Likewise, you can take one small element here at this end of the rod. This length will be L by 2. So, as you are taking the elements at different position, this elemental mass I am taking it as dm, and each elemental width I am considering it as dr. So as the point mass which we are considering is dm, and that dm has length dr. So you should calculate moment of inertia of this total rod. So as the position of dm element is undergoing changed with respect to axis of rotation, therefore when we are calculating moment of inertia, you need to go for integrational limits which are from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2, which is the total length of the rod. So first let me write down what is lambda. Because the mass is extended over length here, you will be taking it lambda, which is capital M divided by L. This is for rod. And lambda is equal to dm divided by dr. This is for element. For the element which we have chosen, for that element, mass distribution will be lambda, which is equal to, for that very small element, you can write dm divided by r. Now I can equate these two, so you can write dm is equal to capital M divided by L into dr. Let me take this as equation number 1. Now this small element, which is at a distance r from the element, r from the axis of rotation, I need to calculate moment of inertia using this formula, integration dm into the length which I am considering from the axis where the element is chosen is r. So therefore I can write it as r square. And limits are from, for the axis left side it is length minus L by 2, right side it is length plus L by 2. Total length of the rod is equal to capital N. So I can take it as minus L by 2 is the lower limit, plus L by 2 is the upper limit. I will now substitute this dm mass, integration minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. dm is equal to capital M divided by L into dr into r square. Now I can just evaluate this integration. That is, I is equal to capital M is constant, capital L is constant. You cannot integrate them. Left will be R square dr. Limits are from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. This is equal to capital M by L into R square dr. R square dr is R cube divided by 3. Limits are from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. This is equal to capital M by L, and 3 I can bring it out. If I bring 3 outward, you can write it as plus L by 2 whole cube minus L by 2 whole cube. Because upper limit is plus L by 2, lower limit is minus L by 2. So instead of R, first I am substituting upper limit plus L by 2 whole power 3, and lower limit is minus L by 2. Next I am substituting minus L by 2 whole power 3. This is equal to capital M divided by 3L into L cube divided by 8 minus L cube will become minus L plus L cube divided by 2 cube is 8. This is equal to capital M divided by 3L into 2L cube divided by 8. This is 2 4 8, and this L gets cancelled. Remainder will be only L square. So finally you can write moment of inertia with respect to axis about the center is I equal to M L square divided by 3/4 12. This is moment of inertia with respect to axis about the center. So I is moment of inertia of rod axis of rotation is at the center of the rod perpendicular to plane of the rod. It is perpendicular to the plane of the rod. So this is how you can calculate moment of inertia of the rod when the axis is about the center. If the axis position is changed to one of the end, then the limits will undergo change. The procedure will be remain same. You can take axis of rotation anywhere. Corresponding to axis of rotation, the limits which you are applying over here in the integration will be changed. Corresponding to that limits, you need to substitute upper limit and lower limit in the formula in this integration, so that you will be getting moment of inertia with respect to any axis. Yeah. So students, moment of inertia with respect to axis about the center we have learned. Now let us calculate moment of inertia where axis is about the edge. This is the axis of rotation. Axis of rotation is about the edge. And now you should find out moment of inertia with respect to the axis which is at the edge. So whenever you are changing the axis, this is axis of rotation. I want to calculate moment of inertia with respect to this axis. What will be limits now? If you are taking very small element here, from the axis, how much length it is making? 0. If you are taking very small element here, from the axis, how much length it is making? It is making length L by 2. From the axis, if you are taking this as the element, how much length it is making? It is making a length of capital L. Therefore, integration limits when you are using axis at the edge, integration limits are integration limits are 0 to capital L, and we know that dm is equal to capital M divided by L into dr, where dr is the width. Now I'll just use this relation, moment of inertia I is equal to integration dm into, I'm taking one small element, that element distance is r square. This is limits are from 0 to capital L. So I will be equal to integration dm can be written as capital M by L into r square dr. Limits are from 0 to L. Procedure till here is the same. Only the substitution of limits will be different. I will be equal to M and L are constants. I can just bring it out. R square dr is r cube divided by 3. What are the limits now? Limits are from 0 to capital N. Therefore, I will be equal to M divided by L into, instead of R, I should substitute upper limit L cube minus 0 cube divided by 3. Therefore, moment of inertia I will be equal to capital M by L into L cube divided by 3. This L and this L gets cancelled. Remained is only ML square by 3. So I will be equal to M L square divided by 3. This is moment of inertia of rod where axis of rotation is at edge of the rod perpendicular to plane of rod, right? This is axis which is perpendicular to the plane of the rod. Okay, likewise you can take axis of rotation in any another position. Okay, suppose if you are taking axis this, which is exactly at the position, if I am considering axis of rotation is this. This is the axis of rotation and I am rotating it with respect to this axis. Okay, now this is exactly at the position L by 4. What will be limits now? This length will be minus L by 4 and length from here to here will be plus 3L divided by 4. So when you are taking axis of rotation at 1/4 of the rod, then in such cases what will be the limits? Limits will be minus L by 4 to plus 3L by 4. Then simply from this expression you will just substitute limits from, instead of 0 to L, we will substitute here limits as, here I will substitute the limits minus L by 4 and instead of this capital L I will substitute plus 3L divided by 4. So just you need to substitute those limits over here. If I substitute the limits, what do you get? You will get the answer like this. M divided by L. 3 is common. That 3 I am bringing it out and limits are from plus 3L divided by 4 whole cube minus of minus L by 4 whole cube. Okay, now if you substitute this limits over there, then you will be getting I is equal to capital M divided by 3L into 3 cube, it is 27 into L cube divided by 4 cube 64 plus L cube divided by 64. This is equal to capital M divided by 3 into 27 plus 1 28 L square divided by 64. I can cancel this with 4. 4 sevens 28, 4 ones are 4, 4 6 24. Remained is 7 by 16. This is equal to 7 M L square divided by 16 into 3, 18, 3 6 18, 3 ones are 3 plus 1, 4, 48, 7 by 48 M L square. This is moment of inertia with respect to axis when the axis is about 1/4 of the rod. Remember that it is at 1/4 of the rod. Like that, with respect to different axis of rotation, we are getting different moment of inertia because the limits are undergoing change. Okay, so these values you need to remember in order to solve problems based on moment of inertia of the rod. So these values you need to remember. So axis about the center of the rod, it is ml square by 12. Axis about one end of the rod, it is ml square by 3. Axis about 1/4 of the rod, it is 7 ml square divided by 48. And remember, everywhere it is multiplied with mass multiplied with some L square. Mass multiplied with L square here, mass multiplied with L square here, mass multiplied with L square here. Remember that. Students, we have discussed moment of inertia of a rod with respect to different axes. Likewise, we will be calculating now moment of inertia of a ring which is uniformly distributed mass. Okay. Now let me consider this is a ring. This is a ring. And this is the axis of rotation. Axis of rotation is about the center. Remember that. Axis of rotation is at center of the ring and perpendicular to plane of the ring. It is center of the ring, and remember that axis is perpendicular to the plane of the ring. Axis is perpendicular to plane of the ring mean, suppose like say for example this is a ring which we are actually this is this, but let me consider this is a ring. Now plane is this is the plane, this is the plane. Axis is perpendicular to this like this. This is the axis which is perpendicular. Axis parallel to the plane mean this is the axis which is parallel to the plane. Axis perpendicular to the plane mean this is the axis which is perpendicular to the plane. Likewise, similarly, we are considering a rod. Let me take this is a rod. This is a rod. Axis parallel to the plane mean this is the axis which is parallel to the plane. Axis perpendicular to the plane mean this is the axis which is perpendicular to the plane. It is rotated like this. You can place this axis at the center. You can place axis at one of the edge. You can place axis at 1/4 of the rod. So based on the axis position throughout this rod, it is undergoing changed. And remember that if the axis is parallel to the rod, total mass is along the axis, therefore its moment of inertia will become 0, because perpendicular distance is equal to 0 in this case, because axis throughout the axis mass is distributed. So remember that for a rod, if the axis is in the plane, moment of inertia is 0. If the axis is perpendicular, then only it will have some moment of inertia that we already have discussed. Now here also we are considering a ring, and that ring has some moment of inertia where the axis is about center of that particular ring and perpendicular to the plane. Okay. Now I want to calculate moment of inertia for this. So for this I will choose very small element here. Let me consider this is the small element which I am choosing. Okay. This is very small element which I am choosing, and this element I am considering it as dm. Okay. And this dm is situated at what distance? Obviously it is situated at radius r. Therefore let us consider an element of ring at a distance capital R. This capital R is radius of the ring from axis of rotation. Okay. Now in order to calculate moment of inertia, we have basic relation integration I is equal to dm into r square. But here what is r? Small r is equal to capital R, which is radius of the ring, and this radius is equal to constant. This radius does not change. You can take element anywhere, R value will be remain same. This element I can take it here. What is this length? Capital R. Same element I can take it here. What is this distance? It is capital R. Same element I can take it here. What is this distance? Capital R. Anywhere throughout this ring, if you are taking element at any position, it is at constant distance. Therefore, this become constant now. Okay, that constant I can bring it out. So I will be equal to R is capital R whole square into integration dm. But what is integration dm? Integration dm is equal to capital M, which is mass of the ring. Which is mass of the ring. So you can, if you add all those small elements, what do you get? Obviously, you will be getting total mass of the ring. Therefore, integration dm limits are from 0 to capital M. I'll substitute that here. So it will be m r square. So moment of inertia of the ring axis about the center is m r square. This is equation for moment of inertia of the ring where axis is about the center perpendicular to the plane. So students, just like how we have considered different axis of rotation for the rod. Yeah. So students, just like how we have calculated moment of inertia for a rod with respect to different axis of rotation, in the same way, we can calculate moment of inertia for the ring at the different axis of rotation. You can take axis of rotation here. You can take axis of rotation here. You can take axis of rotation here. Anywhere you can take axis of rotation. You can calculate moment of inertia with respect to that axis. Similarly, you can take axis of rotation this and you can find out moment of inertia. But in order to calculate moment of inertia with respect to different axes of the rod, we will be using parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. So we will be using parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem to find out moment of inertia of extended bodies other than rod. In order to find out moment of inertia for a ring, for a disc, and for any other objects with respect to different axes, we will be using either parallel axis theorem or perpendicular axis theorem depending on the axis of rotation given to you in the problem. So let us go for another extended mass, which is uniformly distributed mass. Now let us calculate moment of inertia of a disk of uniformly distributed mass. Now this is a disk, and this disk has mass extended throughout its radius, out of which I am taking very small element. This is the element. This black color middle one is the element, and this element has mass dm, and this element width is dr. This is the very small element I am considering. And what is this element now? That element is becoming a ring, is it not? And the axis of rotation is exactly at the center. Therefore, I can now use the formula of moment of inertia of the ring. We already have calculated that moment of inertia of the ring axis about the center is mr square, where r is radius of that particular ring. So in this case, because of that very small elemental ring, what is its moment of inertia? It is a dm into what is the radius of this very small element? R square. So this is moment of inertia of this very small elemental ring. I want to calculate moment of inertia of the whole disk. What to do? Moment of inertia of the disk is equal to integration moment of inertia of the elemental ring. If you integrate this total, like there will be many such elements which you can consider. This is one elemental ring. 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 Like that, all the elemental rings, if you combine, that will become a disk. So first I'll take one element which is a ring, and I will write moment of inertia di for that, and integrating that within the limits 0 to capital R, you can find out moment of inertia of the disk. So that is the principle, that's the procedure which I am following here. So I'll write moment of inertia of the disk is equal to integration. Moment of inertia of the ring we have already know, it is a dm into r square. Limits are from 0 to capital R. Why I am taking it 0 to capital R? Because if I am taking element exactly at the center, what is its a smaller value? 0. If I am taking element which is at this position, this is the position where I am considering the last element. So what is this total distance? This total distance become capital R, which is radius. So limits of the rings which you are considering as the elements are from 0 to capital R. That's the reason why I am taking elemental limits as 0 to R. And we already know that mass is distributed over area. Therefore, sigma is equal to capital M divided by pi r square. And for very small elemental ring, sigma for elemental ring will be equal to dm divided by dA. But what is dA? dA is equal to area of elemental ring. Okay. So area of the elemental ring. What is the area of elemental ring? Area of the elemental ring is length of ring into width, because area is equal to L into B. So dA can be written as length of the ring is 2 pi small r. And what about width of the ring? Width of the ring you can take it as dr, because this width I am considering it as dr. So dr I can substitute here, and sigma for ring will be equal to dm divided by 2 pi r into dr. This should be equal to capital M divided by pi r square. This pi and this pi gets cancelled. Now how do you write this dm? dm is equal to capital M divided by r square into 2r dm. That is dm. I can just substitute this dm value in this expression. So moment of inertia of the disk will be equal to integration capital M divided by r square into 2r dr into r square. Limits are from 0 to capital R. This is equal to, I can just integrate this. So moment of inertia will be capital M divided by r square. I can take it out. 2 is also out. What is left over there remained is r cube dr. R cube dr is r power 4 divided by 4. Limits are from 0 to capital R. This is equal to capital M into r square divided by 2. Check it up. This 2 and this 2 gets 4, 2 2's 4. R square here and r power 4 is in the numerator. R square in the denominator gets cancelled. So that become r square. 2 2's 4. So what is left over here? Mr square divided by 2. This is moment of inertia of the disk axis about the center of the disk. Okay. So that is axis about the center. You can consider a disk like this. This can be a disk. I'll show you. Let me consider this is a disk. This is a disk, right? This is a disk. Okay. So that disk can have capital R radius, and corresponding to that capital R radius, depending on the axis which you are choosing, either the axis is perpendicular to the plane or parallel to the plane. Based on that, you will have moment of inertia. With respect to different axis, it will be different value. And remember, about other axis of rotation, we will be calculating moment of inertia by using parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. That will be very easy to calculate rather than going for such derivations. It will be very easy to use parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem for finding moment of inertia of either extended bodies, any shape it can be. Using those theorems, calculating moment of inertia become very simple. I'll tell you that in the next coming video lectures.